Dynamite.
It is the calm before the storm. There's some breaking news. There's some other news that has already been set for the AEW All Out pay-per-view, and we are here to finally cover it. Welcome to the long-awaited alternative podcast right here on the Hibiki TMD channel. I'm your temporary host, James Hebert, but before we get into introducing everybody real quick, if you're watching this on the Hibiki TMD, make sure you follow Travis down below on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD on Twitter. Obviously, send him your well wishes as he's going through a very tough time, we'll just say. So please put him and his daughter in your thoughts and prayers right now. Go send him some love. Also, if you love the Hibiki TMD, make sure you go and subscribe to this very channel. Click that red button down below. Make sure you go to the Union Smack at adoptbigcartel.com where you can get an alternative shirt to wear if you like AEW, and if you like the alternative, go and represent. With me is the OG co-host of the alternative. He is the former Uber Thai guy, now tattoo and TikTok sensation. He is Colin Dunn. How you doing?
I mean, I'm still Uber Thai guy, but I mean, I like the intro. Also, I just want to point out, I love how you plug the shirt store. I don't even have a fucking shirt, and I'm the co-founder of this fucking podcast. I don't even have an alternative shirt. But I mean, by all means, please go buy the alternative shirt on the store. But yeah, we're back, boys and girls. Life took over for me and Travis for a while. The alternative has been on a hiatus, and there's no guarantees it'll be back as a weekly thing after this show. But we thought it's all out. It's the show that really started AEW. It got it on the map as a promotion to fuck with. So we thought we would, run down the predictions and, have ourselves a little reunion. Obviously, James has been a part of the show before. Mike has been a part of the show before. And so we're back. Travis, obviously, much more important things to deal with right now. We love Travis.
Obviously, yeah.
Great news, though. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw this tweet, but Travis did say about an hour ago, he tweeted that the possibility of brain damage is no more, and she's made unbelievably good progress in the last 2 days, and that his daughter Sass is definitely coming back because he accidentally skipped a song on her phone playlist, and she gave him crap for that. So his daughter is doing great. And so it looks like everything's gonna work out fine. We love Travis, and yeah, I'm excited to be back.
Dude, honestly, Travis, thank God that your daughter's okay. I was praying hard. My dad and I said a prayer for all the best, and I'm glad that all the best happened. Real quick, obviously, so I'm gonna talk to Travis obviously about this idea, but the idea is that since Mike's been on, since I've been on. Instead of
have I been on?
Yeah, you've been on the freaking the episode I think before Double or Nothing. It was like the 2 episodes prior to that.
To be fair, I may have not been on this planet when that podcast happened. Just gonna be 100% honest.
Wait,
with you.
Are you saying your twin came in?
No,
I think he's saying he was smoking a little bit of the funny smelling plant and he wasn't conscious for it. That's
what I'm trying to say is that the wacky tobacco may have hit my wacky brain and maybe not remember certain things that happened that night.
I see. Okay, well.
That's only because I had nothing better to do, so I went, fuck it.
Oh, wow, thanks.
And then I went, oh, fuck, I have a podcast to do.
Yes.
And then I just kept going because I said, fuck it.
So obviously, we've been on before. Colin, obviously, Colin and Trav have been on the show. So the idea that I'm going to pitch to Travis is, and this is not guaranteed, so do not take this as this is going to be fact. But the idea for the alternatives is to possibly rotate people, so that way, if Travis doesn't feel like doing it, one of us can do it and fill in. That way, there's an alternative every week from this point going forward. Still a work in progress. We'll hope for the best, and we'll see what happens, obviously, as
I,
as that goes down.
I co-host the show on a normal basis, and this is the first time even hearing about this.
Oh no, this is because this is my idea. I talked about it, so don't worry.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't. Honestly, if the alternative can keep going, and I mean, to be perfectly fair, I think I'm at a point where I could keep doing the show weekly. So yeah, but enough of that. Let's get into All Out.
Yeah, let's do it. So obviously there was a change in the pre-show, so we got to talk about that. Colin, if you would break the news to everybody at home that may not know what the hell's going on with the pre-show and how the match was just completely changed.
Right. So, I also love how we never actually introduced Mike. We skipped straight over him.
Yeah,
no,
what?
It's all right. No, it's okay. Hey, scumbag. That's why I have a shirt and you don't.
You know what?
I want you one day to get bent, and I really hope you get bent.
Yeah, sorry. There's a lot that I wish I. There are days where I should just have Word and just have a format sheet. This is one of those days. You know what? Before we actually go over the news, this is what we're gonna do. We already introduced Colin, Mike. Everybody knows Mike.
No,
So
I don't want to.
Mike.
No, I'm not. No, I don't want to anymore. You've ruined this. You made this not fun anymore.
Is it ever fun with me?
Man, we couldn't go 5 goddamn minutes before we were just like, hey, let's talk wrestling, and then immediately we're just like, hey, but you know about this one thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, how I missed this. Anyways, so what happened was on the last episode of AEW Dynamite, they announced that Britt Baker, making her in-ring return from the injury and everything, is going to be fighting Big Swole in a tooth and nail match, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, right.
And it was going to be on the buy-in. And so, reasonably so, and even I was a part of this, a lot of people were, mentioning Tony Khan and AEW on Twitter and stuff like that, and they were kind of questioning things. They were like, hey, guys, why is Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks on the main card when that match was just made for no reason, but this rivalry that's been building over the course of months is on the buy-in.
Yes.
And now get this, because this doesn't happen with a lot of big-name promotions. I'm not going to mention anyone, but they actually they actually listened to their fans and they fixed what was wrong. So now the current buy-in match is Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, versus the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, and Britt Baker and Big Swole have now been moved to the main card, as it should have been. It's a novel concept when a wrestling company actually listens to its fans and, corrects the mistakes they've made.
Yes. Well, I do want to say that. I think they definitely made a good attempt. I think they did putting Big Swole and Britt Baker on the main card, considering it's been a 2-month build. I 100% agree with you. Absolutely should have been on the main card. You could still do the thing where you have an additional match on the main card and then just make a new pre-show match, which is what they did with this new match with John Silver and Alex Reynolds versus Daniels and Kaz.
Wrong tag team. It's Private Party.
Oh, fuck. Well, there you go. Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. Again, this just kind of broke to me, so I'm still getting used to it. But yeah, I'm glad that they put that match on there because regardless, I actually like those two teams. It's going to be a hell of a match. But from a casual viewer's perspective, and I'm not a casual viewer, everybody knows this, but if I'm looking at it from a casual viewer's perspective, why are these guys on the buy-in? I really haven't seen much of them, but I've seen a lot of, Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks. Why aren't they on the pre-show? If you want it, now, hey, hold on.
I have your answer if you like it, but
yes, but just let me finish because I know what the answer is. Oh, it's a pre-show. Who cares? I'll tell you why.
No, that's not my answer at all. But okay.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell people why the buy-in should matter because AEW's actually done a very good job of making the buy-in matter. They've actually built up stories. They've actually had storylines that would, even if they were shown like in a few weeks and they just put the match up there. Why aren't you having Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks on the pre-show to get some buys? Especially because I know what they're probably going to do with it. I'm expecting a heel turn for the Bucks here. The way they're building up the Bucks and Kenny Omega and everything else, and that's a story for another time. You know, we're gonna just fantasy book all day if I bring that up. But why not have that little storyline that you're building with the Elite and the Jurassic Express on the fucking pre-show to get some extra buys? You know what I mean? Like, that just seems like it makes the most sense to me.
But I mean, hey, the Dark Order does numbers. The Dark Order is a very, over, thing
the
right
Elite.
now. But they also do good on AEW Dynamite too. I mean, the Dark Order is one of the more talked about acts in Dynamite right now. So I mean, it's not uncommon. It's not. Plus, I mean,
Yes,
if you want to be fair, if you want to be technical here, the idea of it being Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks, that's a match that was just put together on Wednesday and stuff like that. So if you put them on the pre-show, it's still essentially the same thing as doing Private Party versus the Dark Order, because that match was also just kind of thrown together. So either way, it's still the same idea, just with different people. Besides, the Jurassic Express, a very over team. The Young Bucks, they're the Young Bucks. That's a match you kind of want on the main card. It would be great for the buy-in. Obviously, it would do good either way. But that is still a match with two very over teams that you'd want to put on the main card as well. Meanwhile, Private Party is a very popular team as well. They're fantastic. The Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, good guys as well. So I mean, either way, they're all going to be good matches regardless of where they're placed.
This is very true. I firmly agree with that. I think it would have made more sense. Mike, you said you were going to kind of counteract you had the answer on why it wasn't on the buy-in?
Why the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express isn't on the buy-in?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Who fucking runs this company?
Well, yes. Okay, that's the simple answer.
No, that's the answer. You really think that the fucking vice president / COOs of this company are really going to go, yes, please put me on the buy-in?
No, but
Come on.
I would have like, if I'm Tony Khan though, I would have at least given that an explanation, because it is, unlike in certain companies, I'm not going to say names, the pre-show in this case actually matters here. And they have actually proven that time and time again with the pre-shows. I remember at one point they did have Britt Baker on the pre-show with B. Priestley, and that storyline was going on ever since the inception of AEW was a thing. So, I'm just saying, like, why aren't you going to do it that way?
But I mean, you also have to realize, They have had a good streak of making the buy-in matter, but what's different about this is the match between Britt Baker and Big Swole. It is it's a rivalry that's been going on for a while. It does matter, but there was the backlash with why it's not on the main card, and they decided to rectify that and put it on the main card. So in their minds,
True.
they were putting something on the buy-in that had a plot and had a story behind it. But they decided in the end to put that on the main card. So really, they had to throw something together to put on the buy-in.
To me, I think, I don't know. Like, you probably have a point. I just think it would have gotten more buys if you put the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express on the buy-in, especially if you're going to do what you're going to do with them.
Well, the buy-in is free. So the buy-in is free, so no one's buying it in the first place.
No, that's my point, though. If you have them on the free portion of the show, you could potentially be getting more buys by having teams that casual fans would know of because they've seen enough of them to possibly buy the pay-per-view. Because, out of AEW's freaking audience, maybe like a fifth, which is a pretty good number, buy the pay-per-view, right? So, why not increase that by having big stars in the Young Bucks and in Jurassic Express and freaking Luke Perry's son, for crying out loud, on the pre-show? That's That's my argument there.
I almost feel like it's insulting to put Luke Perry's son on the pre-show. I feel like he's Luke Perry's son. He got to be on the main card. Besides, all I'm hearing is James does not think that Private Party or the Dark Order can sell tickets. That's all I'm hearing now.
No. They have not been positioned to that degree, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't sell tickets. They probably could. Right now, they cannot sell more tickets than Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks do. They're way more over than them.
No, you're out of your mind.
How am I out of my mind?
Okay, think about how big that match is going to be.
The Dark Order and freaking... I know the Dark Order's got some steam.
No, but the Dark Order is versing
Private Party.
And...
It's just Private Party.
Oh, it's just Private Party?
Yeah. It's just the Dark Order versus Private Party.
No, Mike, I thought it was SoCal Uncensored, but I was incorrect.
Alrighty, well that's fine. But
that's what I'm saying. That's why I made that argument.
Guys, Scorpio Sky is in the 8-man tag team match, and I'm pretty sure the rest of SCU is going to be in the
Battle Royale.
Casino Battle Royale.
That's what I thought originally. Yeah, I thought that what was it? I thought that Private Party was going to be in the Battle Royal as well. That's why I'm like, what the hell?
To be fair, they probably were until, they needed a match for the main show.
They could have put that. My point is, they could have just put the Young Bucks Jurassic Express there. We can go on about this all day long.
But you are expecting the Bucks to fucking do the drop?
They're going to get full pay-per-view purse anyway. What does it matter?
No, but that's the whole thing. You're expecting the Bucks to do that. No, they're not known to do that. You know how long they've been in the undercard since they fucking conception?
I know.
They're never gonna try to have that happen again, dude.
I'm not saying they're in the undercard. It's not like it's a bad thing. I don't think anybody's necessarily on the undercard unless it's... All right, here's the undercard. I'll tell you the undercard. It's dark. It's AEW dark. That's the undercard. But the top guys, if they're on the pay-per-view, even if they're on the buy-in, they're not the undercard. AEW has done a very good job at making everything on their show, on their main portions of the shows, including the buy-in matter. So I don't know why you can't, just slot that in. I'm not saying saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying, Dark Order and Private Party isn't going to be a good match. It's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. And I think Alex Silver and Alex Reynolds, I think is his name. I always get the names confused. And John Silver. They're going to have a great match with Private Party. Do not get it twisted. I am looking forward to the match. I just think that you could have sold more tickets with Young Bucks and Lucha, almost said Lucha Express again, Jurassic Express.
But hey, speaking of the buy-in between Private Party and the Dark Order,
who do we got?
Who do you think is going to win?
Mike, I'll have you go first on this one.
Dark Order, because they kind of need the victory.
Yeah, I mean, same. I think Private Party, as good as they are, they're not in like a main angle right now, unless you count some of the stuff with Hardy, and even that has kind of been dropped in recent weeks. So I'm gonna just say, yeah, Dark Order, 100%.
I'm against you guys. I'm going Private Party for the win.
Right. Here's why I think. Here's my logic. Right. One of their tag team maneuvers, and I know maneuvers aren't storylines here, but they have a tombstone in the ring, and then they just have another tombstone using the other person on somebody's abdomen. If you're going to make the Dark Order look like a dominant faction, you can't have them lose all the time, is my point. I want tradition broken on that, because I remember when they did fucking Right to Censor, they lost every other match, but at least one of the Right to Censor members would fucking win. Okay, so how am I supposed to take them seriously then? They're in a position now. They have booked themselves in this position where they have to be taken seriously. They did not do the Cody beatdown for nothing. So they have to have them start winning more than just one match on the card. I don't care if it's just the buy-in. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. They need to win. That's my logic. What's your logic for why Private Party should win?
So, I mean, to use your logic against you, I suppose, I believe you. You're absolutely right. I mean, obviously Brody Lee, he won the TNT title in a pretty dominant fashion. They did the whole beatdown after and everything like that. But you also have to realize the Dark Order is in action on the main card as well. So, and you also have to realize who is in what match. Now, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, they're great and everything, but they're obviously the weaker links. They're the weakest link of the Dark Order. So, and I guess I'm spoiling my pick for the 8-man tag, but I'll say it now. I think the Dark Order is going to win that 8-man tag team match. And so I feel like it doesn't matter if guys, it doesn't matter if the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver lose on the pre-show because it's Alex Reynolds and John Silver. I don't think it matters if they win or lose. If they do win, that's amazing because that does give some credibility to Reynolds and Silver as well. But I feel like, if the Dark Order wins on the main card, then it really doesn't matter if Reynolds and Silver, lose on the buy-in.
You know what just occurred to me? A question as you talked about that. You're probably correct anyway. I think the Dark Order should win regardless but now that I'm thinking about it, why are Reynolds and Silver in the group when they already have a tag team in Uno and Grayson?
Profit.
They needed something to do with it, Reynolds and Silver, outside of being a jobber tag team, because that's really all they were when they were just by themselves. Because that was also actually, to answer your question, that's the whole idea, is the kind of why they were put in the Dark Order, why the Dark Order recruited them is because, Alex Reynolds and John Silver were doing jack shit. They go around and they keep trying to recruit people into the Dark Order, but you don't see them going up to MJF and they're just like, hey, join the Dark Order. They kind of go after the people who aren't doing a whole lot, So I mean that's why they're in the Dark Order.
Yeah, you're probably right, but if that's the case, then they need more than just one win on a pay-per-view, even if it is on the buy-in.
So what you're saying is, in theory, they are the new right. They are the new right to censor.
No, hell no, no. If they are, that's a bad idea.
Hold on. In theory, I'm just putting it out there. They are primarily teams of jobbers.
No, I'm fine if you want to take a group that was jobbers and then give them a bunch of wins because they join a group. The concept has worked, but it won't work if you still have them lose no matter what. There are certain exceptions where you can get away with that, but if you're going to build them as great teams, you need to get them some wins. The performance Silver and Reynolds gave on the Young Bucks. They need a win here on Private Party.
And they should.
They came dangerously close.
But they have one trump card, which is a big one.
Yeah.
Heel bullshit.
Yes, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's a group of 5, 6 people?
Yes.
Against 2.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
It's a game.
Yeah, true. I agree. Anyway, well, we're past the buy-in finally, so I guess I guess I read the rest. I have the rest of the card in front of me. Are you gonna go and read the rest of the card, Colin? We were talking about this off air, but I guess we're talking about it on there now. Who's reading the card? Because I got the card up in front of me.
I'll read the card. I know enough about it even if I don't, I'll throw it into you guys. But I'll read the card and everything. We've already talked about it a little bit, so we might as well talk about it now. Britt Baker, Big Swole, tooth and nail match. From what I've read on Twitter, this, I guess, is going to be shot and run kind of like how, not to the degree of it, obviously, but it's going to be along the lines of what the Stadium Stampede match is, because apparently this match
is a cinematic match.
I guess, because they said that the match is taking place Inside,
Baker,
you know,
correct?
inside
Or
Britt Baker's dental
I should say, the other job of Britt Baker.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Britt Baker, Big Swole. Who you got?
Britt Baker makes the most sense to me. She just came back. I mean, Mike, do you agree? I assume you agree here.
Listen, I already made my predictions, and I'll say it as is. I'm always going to go with the heel at the end of the day, even if it's not the smartest decision in the world. I'm going to choose.
Well, no, that's not always the case. You always go with. Sometimes you go with the babyface.
It all depends on how I feel, but I feel like Britt Baker. Just why the fuck would you end such a good run so far with that title?
She doesn't have the title. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
She doesn't have the title.
Oh, I must be drunk again.
You're drunk again. I think
Yeah.
you're confusing with Hikaru for some reason.
Yeah. To be 100% honest, I haven't been like keeping as up to date as I should with AEW, and that's only because life gets in the way sometimes.
Well, Colin understands that. No, but you're still going with Britt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Britt.
Yeah, because in fairness, she is returning, so I think What about you, Colin? Unanimous or no?
Yeah, no, I'm also going with Britt Baker. I think that they'll probably want to, do the whole she just came back from injury. It's her dental office. She'll somehow find a way to win type things. I'm excited to see what this match is. I'm assuming there'll probably be some corny ass moments. I have no doubt in my mind at some point Britt Baker or Big Swole, they're gonna like trap the other in a dental chair and then use one of those like, those guns that just like full on just like melt your teeth essentially. They're just gonna stick them in the mouth and everything. Like I'm sure this match will be batshit crazy, but yeah, I'm going Britt Baker with the win.
I'd much rather them do this than have a fucking eye be poked out and for us to actually believe that. You could at least make it believable that somebody's tooth gets extracted. Fuck, we see it almost every match if you get punched in the mouth. You know what I mean? You could believe that.
Very true. Very true.
Let's do next match. I got the card up as well. We might as well just go on to a Jurassic Express and Young Bucks. Is that what? That's the order I have, but it could be completely different. I don't know.
I don't give a shit. Whatever works.
Yeah. So who we got? I gotta go with the Young Bucks due to I think something big is going to happen with Young Bucks turning. Because they're showing signs of being a heel. They've been showing it for a while now, but like this week, it's been like that. It's pretty much they pretty much just brushed away, Jurassic Express after they got their 8-man tag win on Dynamite. So, they just kind of left them high and dry. So, I think the Young Bucks are going to take this here. Mike, what about you?
I have to agree.
What about you, Colin?
It's the one time I got to go up against the dinosaurs.
This is true. And the dinosaur is going to lose because, Jungle Boy.
Well, plus it's the Bucks.
Yeah, it's the Bucks.
I'm gonna once again disagree. I think Jurassic Express is gonna win, but for the exact same reason that James, you think the Young Bucks are going to win. I think something will happen, some sort of heel thing or something like that. I mean, you saw on Dynamite where, Adam Page costed them that one match and everything. I don't know if that's something like that's going to happen again, but I feel like that's a safe way where it's like the Young Bucks can lose, but they can still be kind of protected if they lose, if someone interferes and, causes them to lose.
Right.
And I think Jurassic Express, they've been doing really well so far. So I think Jurassic Express will kind of get the underdog win for this one, even if it is by someone fucking with the Young Bucks.
True.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Jurassic Express.
We got see the thing about it is like it's hard to predict what's going to be happening because they've been teasing like a lot of stuff, particularly with the if you look at the main elite and if you consider Cody still a part of it, because I don't know what's going on with that. He's kind of just been by himself for a while now. But
too busy dealing with this Poochie.
Yeah, but right now he's busy dealing with a quote unquote injury, and also outside kayfabe, Arrow. But um, for a
Hell,
while,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, that's the reason why they kind of did what they did on Dynamite that week. For me, it's really hard because there's so many moving parts. You got the teasing with Adam Page, you got the teasing with Kenny Omega turning. The Young Bucks showing heel tendencies. There's a lot going on. I like that they're making it very unpredictable, where it's very tough to predict what the hell's gonna happen, and so like that's and by proxy the matches are very unpredictable. So I like that. Moving on, we have Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match. By the way, before we actually predict, I'll let Colin go first on this. I finally know what Broken Rules match are. For those who don't know, basically it's a Mexican death match where pinfalls and submissions count anywhere in the arena, or you have to beat down your opponent so bad that they cannot answer the count of 10. So that's what a Broken Rules match is, I guess.
That's a little goofy of a name, but hey, whatever.
It fits the gimmick.
It's
but I mean, you also have to mention the other stipulation that if Matt Hardy loses, he has to leave AEW.
Okay, so we all pick Matt Hardy to win, right?
Yeah, obviously.
That's I don't.
That would be really.
See, I hate when they do those stipulations because it's if they do the stipulation where it's like whoever loses has to leave, like what they did with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Obviously, that was a bit different because we all know what happened in real life. But anyways, but if it's only one person, I don't see Matt Hardy. I mean, I just thought of this now, actually. I don't see Matt Hardy, leaving for anything, but at all. But now that I think about it, now bear with me here.
Yeah.
Obviously Matt Hardy has been doing the whole gimmick where he just can switch in and out of different forms at any given time. So
Yes.
hypothetically,
are you saying
yes.
Matt Hardy's going
what
away?
What I'm saying is, hypothetically, Sammy Guevara could win, and whatever version of Matt Hardy he wrestles as could leave, but Matt Hardy's just going to keep showing up as different versions. So maybe
I'm so glad that we're getting the Royal Rumble with Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love all over again. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I mean, that being said, I want to believe that's not what's going to happen. I don't think Sammy Guevara is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens. But regardless, I'm still picking Matt Hardy to win.
I'm picking Matt Hardy. There's no way.
I'm picking Matt Hardy, and I have one thing to say about it.
Yeah.
So, is his transformation cycle of insanity just like Perfect Cell, or is it even lamer? It's going a little bit more sane, but we don't know.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
he's gonna fight a toddler in the ring in order to prove that he's the greatest.
No. I'll tell you, he'll come up with a new character. And then he'll be just like super buff, and then he'll be known as Buff Matt.
Oh, you know what my favorite version of Matt Hardy is going to be? Twink Hardy. That's going to be my favorite version.
What?
Twink Hardy. He's going to be the best one.
No, that's Jeff. That's Jeff already. I mean, what?
No, that's Tweak Hardy. There's a complete difference.
Oh, Jesus
Christ.
Jesus.
I'm just the only one that's got the balls to say it.
I mean,
I don't give a shit. Listen, listen. Jeff literally probably looked at somebody at a corner wall somewhere getting stoned and went, "Wait, paint eyelids on my eyes." No, that's stupid. Let's flip it around. I'm going to paint eyeballs on my eyelids.
Jesus. Okay, let's move on.
Lord have mercy.
Holy crap. Doing the Father, Son, Holy Spirit right now for that one. Let's go to 20-man Casino Battle Royale. I'll have Mike go first. So, Mike, you, just to spoil everybody, go check out Indie Force if you haven't already. You already picked Lance Archer to win. You want to explain why?
No.
Wow.
Shirley gave me the option, so I'm not going to.
Why? Why? Okay, are you going? Would you mind explaining, please?
Oh.
Please. God damn it, Mike. All right,
Hey,
let's
honestly, I'm fine with it. You said, "Do you want to explain?" He was like, "No, I'm cool with just moving on with our picks. Fuck it.
Okay.
Leave whoever listens to this in the dark. Leave them in the mystery. Give them a reason to go watch the Indie Force."
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's a fair point. Go check out Indie Force.
actually, don't watch the Indie Force. We're trying to get that to fail as fast as possible so we can.
No, we must have it. We must have it succeed.
James, if it fails quick enough, I can finally catch the last 3 episodes of my favorite TV show that you can watch, and I won't know that you have.
What?
Sorry, I've been watching a lot of the commercials from fucking 1993 today, and I love all the ones that go, "Are you watching the shows that you love?" And I'm like, "Can you fuck right off?"
Jesus Christ. James, who did you pick to win the casino battle royale?
I think I this is an odd choice, but I'm gonna say Sean Spears, because man's got the power of the punch, and you cannot beat the power of the punch.
Unless you counter.
Fuck.
Mike with the fast ones today, honestly.
Hey, listen, man. Some days the brain works. Other days, nah. It's like goop. It's like Nickelodeon GAC content.
Makes sense. As far as my pick goes, so I mean, I didn't even know who was in the match until I looked at the card right before this podcast went on the air. So what I'm seeing is it's a 21-man battle royal, and I think there's 3 or 4 names that have not been announced yet. And it could just be me, always wanting it to be one of those, oh shit, you never could have guessed it because, they haven't announced it yet. God, I wish. I'm gonna go with sort of like I guess kind of an out of left field pick because he's not really in the main event scene. I'm gonna go with Christopher Daniels. I think he easily has the potential to have a good singles run, stuff like that. Right now Scorpio Sky is kind of doing his own thing. He's in the 8-man tag that we'll get to in a second. So obviously it doesn't matter. They can do other things and still be a team. Blah blah blah
Sure.
blah blah.
Yeah. Sky did it.
Yeah, exactly. So because Daniels and Kazarian are both not announced for anything. So it's reasonable to assume that they could be in the battle royal. So I'm gonna go with Daniels. I think he has all the potential to be a main event guy. I don't think he's gonna win the title. But at the same time, they could very easily just be like, "Fuck it, let's push Daniels, give him that world title."
Nah, they ain't gonna do that before MJF. I'm telling you.
We'll see. You're right, but you never know. But yeah, I'm going Christopher Daniels.
That was my second pick, by the way.
For me, well, you know what? Let's do. So there's 4 people that you said haven't been announced, right? 3 or 4 people.
Something like that, yeah.
How much you want to bet that Pac is in this? Because if Pac's in it, we know he's winning.
Probably going to be in it.
Ooh, I didn't even.
I know the travel restrictions in UK just lifted, so man's gonna probably afford an Airbnb and over in Florida and try to make this show.
Actually, guys, I'm gonna change my pick. I'm going with no. I'm not even picking Pac. I'm going left field. I'm going all the way. As a matter of fact, I'm going right field. I'm going Stanford, Connecticut area. As a matter of fact, I'm going Minnesota, Canada area. Brock Lesnar, the newly free agent.
No chance.
Is gonna come in and German suplex every motherfucker out of that ring.
No.
And I don't think that's happening. But what if Brock Lesnar shows up? Do you know how absurd Twitter is gonna be for weeks if Brock Lesnar shows up in AEW? Can you imagine?
Well,
I'll delete my Twitter account. Because I'll be flooded with messages going, so Colin was right. What are you going to do about this?
Right.
Well, I can't afford a plane ticket to go. Hopefully, knock the sense back into him of never making that choice again. But hey,
all I'm saying is when WrestleMania 32 happened. No, it was 31. Fuck, I don't remember which one. When WrestleMania something happened, I was doing a prediction show. James was there. Travis was there. We were all there. I don't know if Mike was there. Maybe he was. Fuck if I remember. But when it came time to talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, we were all given picks. And not a goddamn person in their right mind believed me that my pick would win. But when I fucking said Mojo Rawley is gonna win, everyone laughed at me.
That was 33 then. That was 33.
Whatever. Guess what happened?
Mike was there. I remember
Mojo
this.
Rawley
Mike
fucking
this.
won. So I have made crazier predictions that have come true. That being said, if Pac is in the Battle Royal, he's definitely winning, but I'm still picking Daniels because I can't go. I've already written in my drafts my predictions for the show. I can't just go back and edit it now.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the same with us. Question before we continue, obviously. Since we're on the topic of Brock, everybody's thinking that he's going to come to AEW. And,
I'm not.
No, not everybody. I'm giving that way credit. Every AEW fan that's fantasy booking and that also is a casual fan of wrestling is saying, what if he shows up in AEW? And I'm like, no, he's going to Bellator if he's going anywhere. But
Bellator, he's going to the UFC to eat a knockout and then go back to WWE.
Being on his ass. Not with USADA being on his ass. No chance. They will not let him back in after the last fucking disaster that was. No fucking chance. He already failed USADA's testing pool once. You really think that freaking Dana White's gonna look at him and be like, "Hey, yo, come back here"? No, he's going to Bellator.
Hey! John Jones has failed the USADA test like 14 times.
Yeah, and guess what? UFC's irrelevant because of him. You really think, dude? Here's a fucking problem here, right? In UFC, and I know we're way off topic now, but UFC, their USADA testing pool, they probably, I'm almost guaranteeing you after the USADA testing pool with John Jones and that whole incident where they moved it to Cali, they notice how nobody's been fucking tested since. Nobody's popped. Smaller names probably, but no big names fucking popped. Probably by design, even though they're probably still on the fucking juice.
What's this? What's this? Is this drugs in your system? Huh? Are you on the juice?
I just know that if Brock Lesnar was to go in there, he would need that enhancement. It would be a Vitor Belfort all over again, and it would be a fucking disaster if he went to UFC. Because at some point they have to do their job. Because they're required by the fucking state legislators to do their job. In Bellator, there are no fucking rules. You can take as many steroids as you fucking want, and you won't get fucking fired.
Hey, before we get back to the main card, I just want to say one thing.
Go.
And this really has nothing to do with anything at all. But I want, just once in my life, I want to see some sort of sporting event, football, the Olympics, UFC, I don't give a shit what it is. I want to see some sporting event where everyone is required to take as many steroids, as many enhancers. Let them
Colin,
I got your answer.
Take as many drugs as they want. I want to see what the human potential is, and we're not achieving it naturally. I want to see people juice as much as they want and then go into that octagon and just beat the shit out of each other.
I have your answer. Look at the 80s WWF. There you go.
Explain.
But I wanted to,
everybody was on the juice.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and it's a rule that we all have to learn. Pro wrestling is fake. I want to see real fighting or real sports, but juiced up. Anyways, let's get back to the fucking.
So what you're saying is you want to watch 1970s football?
Yeah, absolutely.
But he hit like a fucking truck every 10 seconds.
Jesus Christ. I think I'm against that in principle. Just look at what happened to poor Michael Bisping. That's why. That's why.
Here's what you do. Ready?
There you go.
You have them take steroids. Hold on. And then you give them ecstasy.
I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Those grapples on the ground are not going to not only feel really tight, they're going to be the most comfy fucking grapples ever.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next match. AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida versus NWA Women's World Champion. I don't know why they call it that the way they do. Thunder Rosa. What?
The world's women's champion.
The Women's World Champion. See, even you're fucking it up.
The world's women's champion.
Yes.
James, he wasn't fucking it up. He was just making fun of the way you said it.
It's the way they say it. It's not my fault. Blame the NWA.
Wait, whatever.
That's actually how they say it. I don't know why, but that's how they say it. Anyway, who do we got in this one? You know what? We'll have Mike go again. Who you got?
Thunder Rosa.
Really?
I agree. I'm also picking Thunder Rosa.
I need to hear your guy, Mike. I want to hear your explanation and call him right after.
Want my explanation, honestly.
Okay.
Where's Dusty Rhodes primarily from?
Yeah, the NWA. I know that, but
You are telling me that Cody Rhodes would not give NWA the benefit of having a victory over AEW so that way they can start a contracted...
Not when you've only had a month of build, no.
Why not?
I mean, they haven't had just a month. I mean, Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida have kind of been trading shit back and forth on Twitter weeks before they ever brought...
Twitter. Oh my god, I'm talking about TV, guys. Fuck Twitter. Fuck social media.
But here's the thing. You can't, because social media, regardless of whether anyone likes it or not, plays a huge part of it, but that's where it started.
No, obviously,
but because Thunder Rosa had been, campaigning because like Hikaru Shida put out the challenge and Thunder Rosa replied, she's like, "Hey, let's fucking do this shit." And I'm almost positive that I'm sure that was already in the books before the Twitter shit even started, and that the Twitter shit's, how they brought it to the public. But either way, it does have a little more build, than just a couple of weeks. I think it would be a great kind of, a surprise victory. I don't think Thunder Rosa is going to hold the belt long. I think she'll probably drop it at the next pay-per-view or the first time she defends it. She might even just be a transitional champion for someone else.
If I'm the booker, and just to put this in perspective, right, you're on a roll, Colin. I don't want to cut you off, but I have to. You're on a roll. If I'm the booker and I want to be able to do more business with other companies, this is a good way to do it.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's a fair point.
Answer the question, why the fuck wouldn't AEW want to work with NWA? Because they already use the Fabulous Freebirds.
Well, okay. So, not
why
the Fabulous.
The Freebirds. They already fucking...
Some of them.
The Rockers. Yes. They already used NWA
Rock and Roll
talent.
Express, you mean, yeah.
You get where I'm coming. Listen, they're all the same team.
Bro, I fucking wish AEW would bring back the Rockers. I want to see Marty Jannetty on cocaine in the middle of the ring talking about how he murdered somebody 20 years ago.
He might murder somebody again. I'm good.
I'm sure he will. That's why I want to see it.
But then the other guy dies.
But imagine the ratings. The demos would be insane.
Oh.
You're sounding like
you don't think James, you tell me right now, Marty Jannetty murders somebody in the middle of the ring. You don't think everybody and their grandmother isn't tuning into Dynamite the following day to find out what the fuck happens next?
Oh my god.
Okay. So Vince McMahon, calm down. Because that shit he would have came up with. Yeah, and he probably has. That's why Jimmy Snuka still has a job.
Oh, he's dead. What do you mean? But you're right. You're right. He's dead, but you're right.
Hey, James can co-sign this as something I've said for years.
Fuck
Jimmy Snuka.
Yes, 100%.
That's a throwback to all the early podcasts I've done.
I don't think you want to have sex with Superfly. Pretty bad.
Well, given how it worked out for the first person who did, you're probably right.
You're 100% correct.
That was
okay.
awful.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with us? Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on.
Come right on the Indie Force.
Here's my reason. So there is one reason. Spoiler alert, I'm picking Hikaru Shida. Everybody probably guessed that. But the reason why is because she just won the belt at Double or Nothing. Unless the plan, and I'm fine with it if this is the plan, unless the plan is until NWA Power gets back on TV and they have Thunder Rosa bring the title to NWA Power and they don't, and they don't take it off her right away and she, she's known as Rosa 2 Belts or whatever the hell you want to call her, whatever her nickname is. And, she has a lengthy reign with those 2 titles. Why are you going to take the title off of Hikaru Shida when she literally just won it, only for her to be a transitional champion for somebody else down the road?
You're answering your own question. See, here's why I think Thunder Rosa is going to win. I don't think that, first of all, there's a difference with how it's worked out because there's a few different people from NWA Power and stuff like that that's, with AEW now, Eddie Kingston, Ricky Stark, stuff like that. But here's the thing. They didn't have contracts with the NWA anymore. They got out of their contracts and signed with AEW. Now, as far to my knowledge, she still holds the belt and everything, so I assume this is the way it is. Thunder Rosa is still signed to the NWA. And they don't show other belts on AEW television. Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega's the AAA champion, but he doesn't walk out with that belt every week. But that's because they don't have a deal. They don't have a partnership with AAA. I assume that in order for this to happen, obviously AEW and the NWA have to have some sort of agreement in place right now. So I think you're onto something with that, James. I think Thunder Rosa is going to win. She will carry around both belts. And hopefully, sooner rather than later, NWA Power will come back on the air. And then, NWA is going to return the favor. I think NWA will probably it's going to be something that you can easily see written in the stars. I think when NWA does come back on the air, they will have Hikaru Shida wrestle Thunder Rosa at NWA Power or one of their shows, and that's when Hikaru Shida will win the belt back. That way, it was a nice cross-promotional thing, and hell, they could even keep, doing it after that. But it puts eyes on NWA, and that's probably why they're doing this.
You bring up a very good point, because I'm thinking about all the way back to All In now, and they did a whole thing for the NWA with the NWA title with Cody and Nick Aldis, which was a fucking great match, by the way. Go watch it if you haven't. Very emotional win for Cody there, and just a great all-around spectacle in general. For me, could you imagine if Cody were to have a rematch with Aldis for, part 3 of Aldis versus Cody, and it's at an AEW event after, because the first one was a cross-promotional event and All In. The second one was at NWA 70. Then you could have AEW, one of the shows, maybe Revolution next year. It's Aldis versus Cody for the NWA title. Then at either Double or Nothing or All Out, could you imagine the scenario where they do some fuck shit like they did with Moxley and the Lawyer, or they do some sort of provision where MJF's rule is exempt and Cody can go for the AEW championship? Could you imagine MJF, AEW World Champion, and Cody Rhodes, NWA Heavyweight Champion, to decide who the very best in the world is? That's money to me.
And why wouldn't you? That literally does print cash.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Oh, man. I can't go against it now. I'm just going to stick with Hikaru Shida, but you guys actually bring up a very compelling argument now that I'm thinking about it. That's actually because if they're in a working relationship, that's going to be good for them, because I've been at it for months, and I know this is completely unrelated, but it is kind of in relation to them partnering up with other companies. I've been saying for months now because of where Impact is, even though they have a great fucking talent roster, by the way, if you guys haven't watched it, it's actually a really good talent roster right now.
Who?
AEW Impact has a great talent roster.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I watched the what was their show they just did? Was it Slammiversary or Bound for Glory?
I think it was Bound for Glory. I think no, it was Slammiversary. I think
Right. I watched Slammiversary and that was a damn good show.
Yeah. So my thing is, you should work out a deal where Impact merges with the NWA. You remember how they tried to do this with GFW and it flopped because Jarrett forgot to sign the contract?
This is fucking idiots.
Yes. Do this for real this time, but with AEW. Then what you have is a much larger roster, 2 different brands that sound like brand names. Impact and Dynamite have them on one on TNT, another one on TBS, and then there's AEW's 2-hour show. Not to mention the big freaking library that they would get if they were to end up purchasing Impact with all the guys that actually passed through Impact, and it would be a little jab at the face of WWE for purchasing Evolve with all of their guys on it. Then they would have something purchased where they have all the former WWE guys. Not to mention, also here, they would have the Global Wrestling Network, which is a network that Impact created. Now Dynamite owns it, and then anything that they're partnered up with, they have AAA. They have NWA Power there.
I think
they may even be able to work out a deal with New Japan in 2 years' time. They can probably bring in New Japan content to that.
All right. I think you're looking a little too far into Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa. Let's calm down for a second.
This is somewhat.
We're just
relating.
James, we're hypothesizing a possibility.
Yes.
You're going into in this timeline. We shall see. Calm down, Watcher. We get it.
I'm just saying there's benefits.
You really like wrestling.
I mean, sure, your idea sounds good, but I guarantee you, it's not gonna happen. I don't foresee New Japan Pro Wrestling selling their shit to AEW.
No. I'm not saying they're selling their shit. I'm saying they work out a deal similar to how the NWA and AEW.
Well, I mean, they already kind of have a deal with Moxley, who's going in between both. But I mean, it's a different thing. Anyway, let's get back to the AEW.
I'm just saying it could work if they actually were to play their cards right, especially if Don Callis merged with AEW. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Yes, and Vince McMahon can stop getting the funny boner every time he sees Shawn Michaels, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, no shit. All right, let's do this. So AEW Tag Team Championships. This is going to be a long discussion too. I'm pretty sure. Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page, the AEW Tag Team Champions, versus Fear the Revelation, a.k.a. FTR, with Tully Blanchard in their corner. Colin, we'll have you go first on this one.
I see. This is one of the matches where I haven't. I've followed vaguely enough to know what's going on, but I haven't been there for every single detail. That being said, I think it's probably about good. I think it's probably about time that the titles change hands. Yep. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Hangman and Omega were the first. There haven't been any other tag team champions. No, there have.
Yeah, there was SoCal Uncensored with the inaugural.
That's what they were the winners, right?
And then to bolster up the tag team scene and to have people pay attention to what they gave the belts to Omega and Page.
Right. Yeah, I remember all that now.
It's still one of the best.
That being said, I think Omega and Hangman have they've held the belts a decent amount of time. No one is going to assume they were just buried. Blah 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 blah. I think it's a good time for the belts to change hands. I'm picking FTR for the win. I think it'll make sense with everything going on. I mean, obviously, you have Hangman, who has now been, I guess, banished from the Elite and whatnot. And I think, but actually, this goes back to one of my previous picks. I think, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I would imagine that, assuming I'm correct, if Jurassic Express wins, I assume the reason is because the Young Bucks will probably, they'll be, attacked or that someone will interfere, but I assume it'll probably be someone like Adam Page or maybe even Kenny Omega. Fuck it, I don't know. But
I
it'll be
doubt Omega.
Right,
Yeah.
but it'll be something to do with, I feel like, Adam Page. And I think the Young Bucks are going to, in turn, give them a receipt and, fuck. They're not going to do it to try and make them lose, but they're going to make an appearance, and I think it's going to cause Adam Page or Kenny Omega to, get blindsided or whatever. So, and then they have that story with, the implosion of the Elite with,
Right.
Omega, Page, Young Bucks, blah, blah, blah. And they can focus on that because that doesn't necessarily need, any kind of titles.
Right.
So, I think putting the belts on FTR would be a good choice. I mean, obviously, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, great wrestlers, very, very much established that. I think they can, hold the belts nicely, and they could even
have
fight
a dream match with the Young Bucks and freaking FTR for the titles.
Right. So I mean, I'm picking FTR. I think it's about time that.
I think it's unanimous, but yeah, Mike, I think you could probably add a couple things to this, obviously, but you pick FTR to win also.
Yes, I did pick FTR to win. Specifically because isn't one of Tully's contracted hires
Sean Spears, yes. Yeah, 100%.
So Nikos has kind of a crazy idea, which I like if it's actually able to work, of having Tully try to recreate the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
And having Sean Spears take the place of Arn Anderson and then grabbing MJF later on down the line to become the new Flair. If they decide to do it, I have no idea. I'm not the fucking.
I do think what they are teasing right now. They've actually teased this. I do notice that they tease stuff on interviews. What they are planning on doing is they're going to have MJF split from Wardlow, so it very well could happen, and that's when he joins Tully's group.
Because why not? If you literally have a faction backing you up, who the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why do you need Wardlow? There's no point. You have your team. You got Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Sean Spears. And they've teased a partnership with Sean Spears and MJF for a while now, anyway. So
yeah, so why not? I mean, why not finally drive the knife home and be done with it? Instead of just hopefully doing it, just fucking do it.
My other thing is as well. You could have them be a heel. You could have them be a heel faction. There's a lot of factions on the show. I just realized a lot of them heel. But here, I'm gonna actually predict something when it comes to this match. I also think FTR is gonna win. I think they're going to win because Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are sick of Hangman shit. And they turn on his ass, and they turned heel, and then they're in a freaking program because everybody says they want the cleaner back. They want the Omega of old back, right? When he was chasing for the IWGP Championship all that time ago. What made him the best in the world, what made him the 6-star machine, the 7-star machine, right? They want the cleaner back. If that's the case? I think you also have a much better chance of having him as a heel because Kenny Omega as a heel is fucking great. He just is. I think you have a much better chance of Adam Page being a babyface. He's so liked by the fans. The fans are not going to want to boo him. He should not turn. There's no reason why he should turn. Everybody's like, oh, well, Adam Hangman Page should turn. And I thought so too. I actually pitched that they should put him in the Four Horsemen. I'm completely against that now because I saw how over he was at Revolution and how over he still is now with the audience. So you got to have Adam Page stay the babyface. He's too freaking likable at this point. To
be fair, for anyone who has, listened to the alternative in the past, when me and Travis were doing it and stuff like that, they've been teasing, the whole Omega Hangman split for, honestly, since they won the titles. I mean, it was always, a thrown together, why are we doing this? At first it was fine, but I mean, it didn't take long for them to start sowing the seeds and shit. I have been, saying, since the dawn of time at this point, that I think Omega is going to be the one to turn heel. I don't think Adam Page is going to be the heel whenever they lose and they split.
Yep. Which is
as a matter of fact, you could even, when Cody comes back, or whoever else is in the Elite, I don't know who's a member and who isn't at this point. I mean, to what you were saying earlier, James. I mean, think about it. The Adam Page in the Four Horsemen Part 2 Electric Boogaloo could work out, because I mean, think about it. I mean, Tully Blanchard, he's working with FTR. He's also working with Shawn Spears. You get Hangman Page in there. I mean, FTR might beat them for the titles, but if what you're saying does happen, and it's because Kenny and the Bucks turned their back on Adam Page has a reason, to join up with FTR and Shawn Spears if their plan is to go after the Elite.
Yeah, but then you have a problem where that's their baby faces at that point. And
who cares? If Kenny Omega's the cleaner, I'm totally if Kenny Omega is the cleaner and he's a heel, if the Young Bucks are being a heel as well, because I mean, you've been saying you think they're going to be the one to turn heel and shit that. Yeah. Then I mean, it makes sense that whoever Adam Page is obviously going to be the face team. I don't think FTR. I see, and between Kenny Omega and Adam Page and FTR. I don't personally see one team as the face and one team as the heels. I think it could go either way at any given time. It really just all depends on, who does what. So I think if Adam Page joins their group and goes after the Elite, they could easily present, this new Four Horsemen as, the faces versus the heel Elite.
We're going to predict another match, later, because I have another theory on that whole thing, but I want to kind of finish up with this little thought with the thing you just said, Colin. The only way I see that happening is they have to find a way to kick Cody Rhodes out of the Elite first. They have to, because it's not going to make any sense if the Elite turn heel. The only way I see that happening is you have to break out the wallet, overpay if you have to. You have to sign Kota Ibushi. It's the only way it's going to make sense. Because the only way the Elite can work in that instance is if you bring in Kota Ibushi. Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks.
But why can't Cody be a heel? Why can't Cody be a part of the Elite?
I'll tell you why. Because if they do the whole thing with MJF and Cody and the later iteration, he's got to stay babyface, because MJF can go by himself. He doesn't necessarily need the group. He's already great enough as it is.
But that's the thing. That's if they. But there's no reason that Cody and MJF have to have any kind of program with each other anytime soon. I mean, that Cody and MJF,
it would be a year.
But Cody and MJF is the kind of feud. It's kind of like Orton and Cena or anyone else you want to mention. It's kind of the feud that it can happen at any given time over the course of, their entire careers, and it'll make sense and it'll be fine. They don't have to do that anytime soon. They can have Cody be a heel. They can have him team up with Bucks and the Elite, because, I mean, the Elite's going to have a fourth member, because if, it's FTR, Shawn Spears, and Hangman, it can't be 4 versus 3. They're going to have a fourth guy. So they're going to need someone, and if Cody is already in the Elite, it might not be because he wanted to, but because Cody is in the Elite, I mean, obviously, he's going to side with his friends, and I'm sure he'll probably just be like, well, fuck it, Adam Page was being an asshole anyways.
Well, okay. I see that point, but I know Cody, and I know Cody's actual character. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Me out. Why not do AEW's version of the Bullet Club? They already have their Japan connections. Why the fuck not?
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm saying Kota Ibushi would probably make sense. Here's the thing I
would pick Kota, but if you're going to do it smart, just have a couple of the guys that are already, that used to be in AEW and now, they used to be in WWE and now in Japan. You could have them come over to AEW for a little bit.
Oh, what? So we're talking maybe Hideo or something? Maybe not, or Kenta.
No, not at all. I'm saying specifically because they used to be in WWE and they got their asses kicked out. And now they're in New Japan again. And in WWE, they were called the fucking Bullet Club.
No, I get that. Well, AJ's still with WWE. I don't know.
You don't have to listen. Don't worry about Styles. He's going to do what he's going to do.
I'm just trying to think of who you could do, because I really don't think it would make any sense to have Cody turn, especially if you're going to have MJF, and Cody have that title match that I just pitched, winner take all scenario. So, like, in a year, by the way, I didn't say it was going to be like right away, Colin. I said it was going to be like in a year. They were going to build that up over the course of a year. My thing, okay, we're going to go on about this all day long, but I'll end it with this. The reason I said Kota Ibushi in the Elite is because you're going to want to do War Games, and I don't think the Inner Circle is going to last much longer here, which brings me to Mimosa Mayhem. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Okay.
I was so confused when you first showed me that.
Yeah, I know. So,
what the fuck is this name?
So, the Mimosa Mayhem match, for those who don't know.
Guys, I mean, think about it. Orange Cassidy, Orange Juice, Chris Jericho, Bubbly. I mean, it writes itself.
That's what Mimosa is. It's 500 or 500 gallons of Mimosa and.
No, I get that. It's just one of those things that when you're looking at it and like a piece of paper, it's like,
what?
Fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah,
who was on drugs and how come it wasn't me?
Chris Jericho. That's who was on drugs.
No, he was plastered.
He was stoned out of his head when he came up with
it. Shit-faced.
Let's do this though. Okay. Reason I segued the way I did into this is because if we're gonna do War Games, it's gonna have to be with the new Four Horsemen, and it's gonna have to, or it could be with the Dark Order. I don't know what they want to do there, but it has to be with either the Dark Order and the new Four Horsemen, or something like that, or they have to do the Elite versus. If they don't do the Elite versus the Dark Order, say nobody turns and they're all babyfaces still. It can't be with Inner Circle because Inner Circle is going to run its course because I think Orange Cassidy is going to win. And at that point, if Orange Cassidy wins, what the hell are you going to do with the Inner Circle? If Jericho wins, the Inner Circle could continue. But if Jericho loses, what is the point of the Inner Circle staying on TV? This is actually one of the rare instances where I think AEW actually kind of booked themselves into a corner here. Because how the fuck do you get out of this? Because you can't not give Orange Cassidy the fucking win because he's like the top merch seller in AEW right now, and you can't have Jericho. You can't have Jericho halt his momentum because supposedly they're trying to make him into this cool main event guy.
But real quick, you got to realize he's Chris Jericho. He can lose this match and be perfectly fucking fine.
He could be. The Inner Circle, I'm saying the reason I bring that up is because I agree with you. Jericho will be fine. I'm sure the other guys will be fine too. But the Inner Circle won't be. The group itself. That's going to be the issue here. Because what do you do at that point? Because you can't have that group stay. There's just no way, especially considering the fact, look at how many factions there are. I mean, Christ. I think the one with Eddie Kingston's temporary because I think he's just using him to get the fucking championship shot.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
so I'll go with my pick. I also think Orange Cassidy is gonna win. Because you can win the match by pinfall submission or throwing your opponent into a tank of mimosa. God, I hate and love pro wrestling all at the same time. It's the most brilliant fucking dumbass thing I've ever seen in my life. Pro wrestling is.
Yes.
That being said, Orange Cassidy beating Jericho by pinfall or submission. All right, well that's one of those shit. Is that gonna happen? Orange Cassidy's great, but it's Chris Jericho. But they obviously have
they have their out.
They have their out where you just gotta
right.
drop kick someone into some mimosa. So that's an easy way that Orange Cassidy can get the win. So that's why I think he's winning. But I don't necessarily think that means the Inner Circle is going to implode just because Chris Jericho loses.
What do you do with them though after that point? Because
I'm not on the booking team or creative. Fuck if I know what they're gonna do after. But it doesn't mean that they can't do something.
Well, I mean, right there, but what can they do? What would be substantial enough to compare to what they were doing pre-pandemic, which was laying motherfuckers out? Like we got to remember, they're in some comedy angles right now. In a sense, Jericho's with doing this bit with Orange Cassidy. Santana and Ortiz are feuding with his friends, the best friends. And it's over their fucking mom's van essentially. Now that's kind of what it turned into. And Jake Hager, he already lost his world championship shot to Moxley. So what is there to do? And we know Sammy is going to lose to Hardy. What do you do here? You know what I mean? Something's got to give in that. There's no way you can keep that faction going.
Well, okay. Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
I am voting, however, for Jericho. Because having him lose against Orange just kind of kills, as you said, pretty much all the momentum that the Inner Circle has.
Whatever momentum they have left in this case,
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you both an alternate proposition that could happen.
Go ahead.
What if it's a fucking draw?
What if that would be?
I didn't think they could easily both fall into the mimosa and just.
Because why not? Just that's the ending. And if that happens, I don't care. Somebody's gonna have to subscribe to somebody's channel. I don't give a fuck what it is or what the channel is. I don't give a shit.
No. I'd actually be pissed if they did that. I'm not even gonna lie, because what was the fucking point? I know it's a possibility, but really?
To give you something different. Honestly, that's all. Because why not?
I thought
but just to make it clear, if that does happen, you were still wrong because you did pick Jericho to win.
True, but I also win.
In a way, but on paper.
Mike, you don't win, nobody wins. We throw the match out. That's what happens.
No. At the end of the day, I was the one that came up with the proposition, and it has been recorded and brought up to the people of the internet.
Yeah, fair enough. If that happens, we'll give that match to Mike. I'm willing to make that exception. Fuck it. But otherwise, no chance. No chance.
Right,
I don't think that's happening.
Fine. But if Brock Lesnar wins the Battle Royale, I'm taking
that as a point. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is going to be... again, I hope that... I don't know what they could do with the Inner Circle. I wouldn't mind them keeping them around so Circle wins, but then where's poor Orange going to go?
If Lesnar even shows up.
Yeah, true. You know what they should do, by the way? And this is just completely off topic, but it relates to Orange Cassidy. I have a proposition. If they ever do a 6-man tag team title later on in a year's time or 2 years' time, Pineapple Pete, Orange Cassidy, Juice Robinson, Pulp Friction, let's go.
God, I would love that.
See?
He's been pushing this for a while, I hope you know.
I know, but I still want it to happen.
You've been pushing this on the Indie Force since about episode 4.
I'm well aware.
Blows my fucking mind.
Hey, in fairness, I'm a Baron Corbin fan. It doesn't take much for me.
Yeah. Hey, at least you admit it. At least you admit it.
It doesn't take much for me.
Although I do feel bad of how they put him in a situation where there was no way he could have possibly won. That's a whole video for another day though. This is not about that other company.
It's for. Well, we don't even know anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the main event.
Are we just gonna skip the 8-man tag team match, James? I've been waiting for you to get to that one, and you just have not done it.
Oh my god! You know what the problem is? I did skip it, so screw that.
This is why at the beginning of the show I said I'll do the card, but no.
Sorry.
No.
Fuck it. Dark Order versus Matt Cardona.
At it again.
It's fine. I'm sure this is going to be unanimous anyway. Dark Order versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares. I am picking... Oh, wait, no, Mike actually had a different pick. I actually am going with the Dark Order. Colin, what about you?
I as well am going with the Dark Order, but I will say this, though. I fucking love that Matt Cardona's in AEW. I'm a huge fan.
What about you? What about you, Mike? Who do you got?
Dark Order.
You picked yeah, but on the other thing you picked
Did I?
yeah. Well, you originally were gonna go with the Dark Order, but then Mike Nikos convinced you, and you went with it to fucking because I listened back to it. He convinced you. I don't know how he did to stick.
He made a
to
good
actually go with
argument.
the, yeah, but still, I mean, his argument was that Scorpio Sky has a ton of potential and Matt Cardona has a ton of potential. That's his only argument.
And that's fine.
Yeah, no, here's the problem. They have QT Marshall, who's more likely going to take the fall.
But hear me out. At the time, I was just trying to get that fucking thing done. So I can go back to the party that I was at the time.
Well, you're going to have to stick with your pick then, which is
I'm fine with
Matt
that.
Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares.
Okie dokie. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
See, here's the whole thing, James. You're not champion, and Nikos is.
For now.
I want you to remind yourself that you have said that about 7 times.
No, for the rundown.
With other people being champion.
Shut up.
So when all of my picks for the show are right, I'm the new champion, right? Regardless, I'm saying fuck it.
No, well, in this case,
free agent Indie Force champion.
Well, in this case, I mean, yeah, you're the Indie Force champ. Yes.
Sweet. All right.
We're talking about our belt, the Indie Force champ. Mike has Nikos has a crown. I hope I win just so I can get the fucking crown. Anyway. All right, let's move on. Main event, AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley versus MJF, as Colin calls him. It's MJF's time, dude. I think Colin, I think you and I can agree with it that it's his time.
I am picking Jon Moxley to retain.
Really?
I see.
Mike picks him too. Why?
Because it's gonna be more entertaining to watch MJF on the next Dynamite be absolutely fucking furious that he lost. And I'll tell you how he's gonna lose. It's gonna be the classic, oops, the referee didn't see it, so fuck it, it's fine. Because, the whole thing is, Moxley is banned from using the paradigm shift. Yeah. Simple fucking spick. Referee is not going to see it. Jon Moxley's going to hit the paradigm shift on MJF, and he's going to win. And it's going to be more entertaining to watch MJF bitch and moan about that than it would be for him to win the title and say, "Oh, I told you so." So I think Moxley's going to retain. I do think MJF's time is going to come. I think MJF is going to be the one to beat Moxley at some point. It's not happening tomorrow.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Oh, does James have his hopes up?
I think MJF should win because, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess they could make some television, but then you'd have to do a rematch either on Dynamite. Well, maybe that'll start playing, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Either on Dynamite or they have to do it at Full Gear. So, you know what I mean?
Probably go to the next pay-per-view and have that rematch happen at Full Gear.
Well, I think, you got to remember they only have 4 pay-per-views a year, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be on a Dynamite before that.
Which is way smarter than having fucking 12.
Yeah, some days. Yeah, I wish we did. I wish we did. Trust me, Mike. Trust me. I wish we did. But it's too late now. But
that's pay-per-view.
Maybe. I gotta tell you, man, this whole thing is weird because I think you could make the argument that MJF should win the belt, but yeah, you guys make a valid point because Mike, spoiler alert on his pick, he picked Moxley too, and now I kind of see why. But fuck. I just obviously MJF has to win the belt at some point because Moxley's run's kind of lost steam, and I know he only won the belt at Revolution, but I don't know. It just somebody's got to take the belt off him. Because I'm not saying he's been bad, by the way. Jon Moxley's been a hell of a champ.
I mean, hey, he's the longest reigning AEW champ.
Yeah, obviously. He's also now the youngest because Jericho was the youngest. Ha 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 ha. Funny. If you get the joke from various Dynamite episodes ago. But to me, it's like, who's gonna take the belt off him if it's not MJF? Because
but that's the thing. It's going to be MJF. It's just not gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta stick with my pick though. I already picked MJF. Dang it. Okay. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose the prediction. I already could tell. I'm gonna freaking bomb this because of that. I did not think of it like you guys thought of it, and maybe that's why I'm not the champion. I think I'm too simplistic sometimes.
James, if it makes you feel any better, I don't normally have a very good run with pay-per-view predictions. I at best like break even and tie. Like the last WWE show, Payback, that was the best I've ever done in predictions in probably years because I predicted every match correct except one. I thought Apollo Crews was going to retain. After that, I got everything right. So what I'm saying is I might be very confident in everything I've said today. I also could very easily have just been talking out the side of my neck and none of it's going to happen. So we'll see. But but I do feel pretty confident in my picks here. I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong with the Battle Royale. Once I heard Pac, I'm like, shit, that's probably a good idea. And honestly, the Jurassic Express Young Bucks match could go either fucking way. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I think it's MJF. I think it's MJF who's going to be the one to take it off of Moxley. It's not going to be tomorrow.
No, it wouldn't make any sense for him to. Moxley is their big crown jewel. That also helps that he's right now the number one fucking wrestler in the world via PWI's thing.
Yeah, right.
Why the fuck would you? Why would you, with all this clout that he's getting right now, take that away from him to somebody who is a great heel, but doesn't deserve that title shot just yet?
Or doesn't deserve to win the title just yet. No, I know what you mean.
Yet.
Fuck.
Not yet.
I'm gonna fail. Well, in fairness, to close it out, I have a funny story. You were talking about predictions earlier and how you're terrible at them. Mike, you want to talk about your prediction battle where you just completely smoked everybody after not watching wrestling in years?
Are you talking about me taking the Wrestling Rundown heavyweight title in one fucking night?
Yes, and keep in
ironically,
mind, he competed against he competed against like 9 other people in that league and just smoked every single person, me included. Just demolished everyone. He got every pick right except for 2 people. I think he got one person who didn't actually take the fall, and that was at this. By the way, this was at Fighter Fest last year. I think it was like the wrong team took the fall, and then he didn't get one of the pre-show matches right. He got everything else right and just smoked everybody. Just completely dominated everybody.
If somebody doesn't believe that, just watch the Indie Force intro.
Yeah, that's the whole reason. The whole reason Indie Force exists is because of that. It was all a meme.
So yeah, because the meme existed. I hope you
Mike destroyed everybody.
So James, here comes the real question: when's the day that we get on our Saiyan suits and fucking do the Ginyu Force intro?
Oh fuck, we have to do that at some point. Right?
We have to do that at some point, just for mass confusion.
Yes.
So people go, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Anyway, yeah, that's the story. Mike is too good at predictions. He's
that's not true at all.
Well, that night you were. That night you absolutely were.
James, you are doing that thing where you put me on this pedestal that doesn't exist. This imaginary pedestal that you've created.
I mean, in fairness, you did lose the belt right away, didn't you? At the next
I did. But I won it for a week, and Chris Dodd was pissed off. Yes. I kept going, oh, look at me and my brand new belt, and you didn't win it. Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, so Colin, if you didn't feel bad enough on predictions already,
Oh, I never feel bad. I make all my choices with full confidence, and when I lose, I'm always surprised. I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me? I didn't see that coming." But I take it with stride.
there you
Which
go.
is important.
Well, we are pretty much done when it comes to this episode of The Alternative. Colin, you got anything that you want to plug?
Follow me on Twitter at UberTieGuy. That's it. That's all I got.
Dude, I don't know why you don't promote your TikTok at this point.
Because I like it when strangers watch me because I don't know their judgment. But anyone who does watch me, who knows me, can easily message me, be like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" And then I'm gonna feel bad. So
at this point, though, somebody from TikTok who's a wrestling fan is gonna find you and they're like, "Hey, you're that guy from TikTok," and then they're gonna be like, "You're gonna have to do it at some point." I hope you know.
You're the guy that
enough
put bubble gum up his ass. Who would have thought?
Fucking hell, Mike! Jesus Christ! God
Come
damn.
on, I gotta listen. If I don't throw out the random one out of nowhere, and he goes, "How does he know these things?" Then it wasn't worth the random guess.
Well, anyway, so that's all you got. You don't have anything else. Well, obviously you got this channel, but we're gonna plug that anyway. Mike, you want to plug your Twitter, and then I'll plug everything else. That's how we usually do this.
I got you covered. Hey, boys and girls of all ages, you can follow me on Twitter at HellsWarrior25. I really wish I fucking changed that some days because I hate that name still. But hey, it's still there if you want to.
It was originally, in fairness, it was originally created for the WIW show.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm not finished. Stop. I'm talking.
Go ahead.
Go watch the Indie Force and Open Mic Night. If you don't watch those, I'll come to your house and drink all your milk in your fridge. Don't fucking test me. I will do it.
Fair enough. You guys can find me on YouTube.com as well. YouTube.com/user/JHebert-side95. That is my main channel. That's also the hub for the Win Productions, where Open Mic Night is and Indie Force is. So please check out everybody that makes content. The Hibiki TMD is also on the side module, so I guess that's a perfect segue to transition into that. Also, check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling, youtube.com/user/WYW Pride, CAW League. Go check it out. But also check out this channel. Check out the Hibiki T on YouTube. Also follow him on Facebook. I think he still has his Facebook on the description. Like him on Facebook. Go on Twitter. Follow the Hibiki TMD on Twitter. Go to the Union Smack store. Buy an alternative T-shirt. Buy any T-shirt that's to do with the Hibiki TMD. Go do it. Do it now. Yeah, do it. Leave a comment down below about what you thought of the alternative tonight. And until next time, we will see you on the alternative.